Today we're going to do a run with one of the most freaky and strange Pokemon ever. No, not Mr. Mime. I know he's really freaky. Well, it can also be female, so it's not a he. I just don't really know what to think of Mr. Mime. Anyways, another Pokemon I feel similarly about is Lickitung. But it's freaky cute instead of freaky weird. Look at its little eyes and derpy tongue. Honestly, pretty great design. Despite liking Lickitung this much, I've never used it in a playthrough before. I tend to avoid normal types because they just feel a bit boring. So let's take a look at Lickitung's stats. Honestly, as a single stage Pokemon, he's pretty underwhelming. Its Gen 1 special stat is 60, and its attack stat is 55. The really unfortunate stat here is 30 in speed. As critical hits are generated based on the speed in Generation 1, it's going to be almost impossible to get any of those. However, as badge boost compounds with each stat increase, and the fact that critical hits ignore stat boost increases, a badge boost strategy might actually be very strong with Lickitung. Lickitung's learn set is pretty uninspired. From the look of things, it'll be decently hard to get past Brock since we can't learn any special moves before him. Lickitung's move pool opens up a lot when we start to look at TMs. It has access to moves of almost every type, and this is going to make this run get significantly easier as we progress. Now let's cover the rules. I will only use Lickitung in battle. I'll need to use other Pokemon outside of battle for HMs in order to progress. I won't use any items in battle other than Pokeballs to catch Pokemon for the needed HMs. But I will be permitted to use items outside of battle. Now let's get into this challenge and see how Lickitung can do in Pokemon Red. I attempt Brock right away after making it through Viridian Forest. Turns out wrap strategies aren't going to work here since Lickitung's speed is so low. Surprisingly, at level 11, I'm able to get through his Geodude and onto his Onix. This is looking promising. At level 16, I come back and easily stomp through his Pokemon. I have to say, I'm pretty surprised how well Lickitung did versus Brock. Well done, little guy. On my way to Cerulean, I get the chance to teach Water Gun and Mega Punch to Lickitung. I also grab the Helix fossil. Praise Helix. The rival fight is more annoying than hard. Pidgeotto gets off so many sand attacks and it takes me forever just to make it through all of his team. My moveset is just so strong at this point in the game. Once I actually hit his Pokemon, I take them out without issue. Misty is also very easy. Mega Punch is a normal type move in Generation 1, so it does massive damage to STARMIE and lets it take it out in 3 hits. After defeating her, I teach Freaky Bubble Beam. The next rival fight isn't as easy as the previous one. While I don't get sand attacked into oblivion, I get confused while fighting Kadabra. That makes the fight versus Ivysaur much harder. After some time, and almost running out of PP for Mega Punch, I finally take him out and move on to Surge. This fight isn't really worth commenting on. I one-hit all of his Pokemon except Raichu. He takes me down to red health, but I'm able to take him out the next turn. Now we're gonna skip a bunch of the game. Giovanni at the Rocket Hideout is a piece of cake. Bubble Beam makes quick work of his Onix and Rhyhorn, and Kangaskhan goes down to 3 Mega Punches. I realize now that I probably should have taught Lickitung Body Slam a while ago. It's doing so well this far, and it isn't really necessary. I skipped talking about the entire rock tunnel section of the game because it was just so easy. Erica's next, and Mega Punch takes down her Victreebel. I do get poisoned in the process, but that's okay. Generation 1 poison does hardly any damage. A few Mega Punches are required to take out the Tangela, and Vileplume is just as easy, and we've got our 4th badge. So while working on the script for this run, I was playing through Pokemon Yellow with Butterfree, not using any special moves. Pokemon Tower is absolutely brutal if you only have access to normal moves. You can't hit any of the Ghastly with any damage dealing moves. Now, it's actually still possible, despite Struggle being a normal type move. So stay tuned for that run when I post it in about a week. Next, I decide to move on to Silphco. There isn't a reason, I just felt I didn't want to make the journey to Koga yet. Let's see if Rival Fivel can be defeated this early on. Ice Beam 2 shots his Pidgeot, but I take a bit of damage. Next is Gyarados, and I go for Ice Beam. Probably not the best move selection, because it doesn't deal very much. I switch to Mega Punch, and get lucky when he uses Leer, allowing me to take him out the next turn. Earthquake 1 hits Growlithe, Alakazam hits us for a terrifying confusion, but we survive through it with 8 HP. Next is Venusaur. It outspeeds us, and we've got our second loss of this run. Lickitung's been doing really well so far. I attempted again with a new strategy. Time to put Defense Curl to work for the first time. After getting it off 6 times, I've maxed out my badge boost, and since I have Brock's badge, I get a boost in my attack stat. I'm hoping this will let me take out his Pokemon significantly faster. Pidgeot, Gyarados, Growlithe, and Alakazam all go down in a single hit. Venusaur survives through my first Ice Beam, but can't deal enough damage to knock me out. It goes down the next turn. Beating this rival on my second attempt isn't so bad. I just got slightly overconfident the first attempt. Giovanni is incredibly easy. After him, Sabrina is next. I expect this fight to go very well as I have a lot of strong physical moves. Earthquake devastates Kadabra. Unfortunately, Mr. Mime outspeeds and uses Barrier. I decide to set up on him instead. After getting my defense curls off, I take it out. Venomoth surprisingly doesn't take much damage to Ice Beam, but a Mega Punch finishes off the next turn. Luckily, Alakazam is an easy one-hit. Again, Alakazam's defenses are extremely low. Koga's next. Coughing is first and goes down to an Earthquake. Muck and the next Coughing also get one hit, but Wheezing doesn't. Funny enough, it goes for Self-Destruct next, and doesn't KO me. Certainly a very easy Koga fight. Blaine I expect to be equally easy. Earthquake is just so powerful versus Fire-type Pokemon. Earthquake one-hits all of his team except Arcanine. Luckily it uses Takedown on me. That's probably better than it using something like Fire Blast. I survive with over half health and retaliate with one final Earthquake. The final trainer in the gym challenge is Giovanni. Let's see if I can also beat him first try. If I do, I will have defeated 7 out of 8 gym leaders on the first attempt, Brock being the only exception. So Ice Beam rocks rock types. That's actually really hard to say. Ice Beam rocks rock types. Rhyhorn is an easy one-hit. Dugtrio starts to get annoying though, as it outspeeds and uses Dig. While this is pretty annoying, it gives me the chance to set up some defense curls. I finally take it out and move on to the Niddos. They're both one-hits, and Rhydon is just as easy. Maybe the last trainers will be this easy as well. Do you think I can get through the rest of the game on my first attempt of each fight? Let's see. The rival leads with Pidgeot, and I set up my defense curls. After maxing out my stats, I switch to Ice Beam to take it out. Unfortunately, I miss my Mega Punch versus Gyarados and take some damage. Growlithe and Alakazam go down right away, leaving only Venusaur. My Ice Beam is super effective and takes it out in one hit. Looks like the dream is still alive. Unfortunately, Lorelei does take me out on my first attempt versus her. So I reset and use some of my remaining rare candies to level up as much as possible before attempting her again. She's actually pretty hard, and I have to fight her several times before I figure out what strategy I need to use. My strategy is pretty simple. Brute force down all of her Pokemon. I need to get an attempt where I go into the fight versus Lapras with good health. Blizzard deals a lot of damage to me, so I need to be very healthy in order to deal enough damage to take the Lapras out. I actually get the perfect run after about 5 attempts, and I defeat Lorelei. Ice Beam is what you need versus Bruno. My heart does skip a beat though when his Machamp uses Submission. Since I'm a normal type, this could take me out. Luckily it doesn't, and Machamp faints the next turn. Agatha's next, and due to the fact that Ghost Pokemon don't have the ability Levitate in this generation, this is going to be very easy. She switches Gengar immediately out, which makes my Earthquake miss against the Golbat. That's annoying. Golbat confuses me and gets taken out by my second Ice Beam. Again, she switches her Gengar out, but this time Haunter comes out and gets one hit. Great strategy, Agatha. After this, the sweep is secured. All of her remaining Pokemon go down in a single Earthquake. Lance is next, and since I have Ice Beam, I'm feeling pretty good about this fight. Gyarados is first, and he's probably going to be the hardest Pokemon of this fight. My Body Slam does more than half damage, and since he used Hyper Beam, I'll be able to take him out my next turn. How did he survive that? I'll get him next turn. Nope, guess not. Lance uses a Trolley Hyper Potion and makes this fight way longer than it needed to be. The following Dragonairs go down in a single Ice Beam each. Okay, Aerodactyl. Because the fight with Gyarados didn't go so well, I'm a bit scared. It's gonna outspeed me for sure. After hitting myself in confusion twice, it takes me down with Hyper Beam. This run's going so well. I guess we will have to do Lance twice though. I still don't get through Gyarados with green health. But this time my luck versus Aerodactyl is much better. My first Ice Beam takes him into healing range right away, wasting his turn. Then my second Ice Beam one-hits him. I guess it was a range. Lucky me. Of course Dragonite is a one-hit with Ice Beam, so there's only one fight left now. The final rival. I love this music. My favorite Pokemon track of all time. I decide to set up on Pidgeot. After fully setting up, Ice Beam makes quick work of Pidgeot. Let the sweep begin. Alakazam down. Rhydon down. Gyarados actually lives through a critical hit body slam. I guess there was no way to get a full sweep after all. After taking out Arcanine, Venusaur actually lives through an Ice Beam and hits me with Razor Leaf. It does decent damage. A great last attempt from the rival to take me out. Well, this run was really easy. Lickitung was great. I'm surprised. After looking at its stats, I thought this run might be much more challenging. But in the end, you're able to level up pretty quickly and get an amazing move pool. Up next is an Onix solo run, and after that I'm incredibly excited for the Butterfree no special moves run. I'm actually doing that run without Sleep Powder as well, so I think it's gonna be really insane. Like, subscribe, and click the bell for more. Let me know if you have any ideas for challenges I should do. Also, comment if you think I missed something in this challenge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.